All right, boys, it looks like we finally found that 1 minute that was missing in the Jeffrey Epstein tape. Woo! Yeah! Mystery solved! Not really. So, of course, we are still left with more questions than answers about the story of the decade, as Jeffrey Epstein's brother just came out in a bombshell interview with Piers Morgan and is pinpointing a major politician in the involvement of the demise of his brother, Jeffrey Epstein. What in the world is going on here, as there are still some major online right-wing personalities that are either coping, telling the truth, which is rare, and some of them are actually telling you, stop caring about the most important story of our time. Move on. As, of course, the thousands of children that were hurt here, well, there's going to be thousands of more, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, believe the government. They tell us, and you know what? I just can't. I just can't. That's why we make these videos. I believe we are in the faction that, of course, has been telling the truth about this. We're not coping. And again, I see so many people. I might do another video because I see so many people saying, no. We are going to get the list, but we're going to get it later. The pure cope here, okay? Absolute ridiculous situation that we're dealing with right now. As, of course, the government here has been absolutely disappointing here, as we were promised the hammer of justice, and we got this. That's perfectly represented by this little image of a little trinket here that doesn't do jack-ish. Perfect representation for government right now, as of course Ben Shapiro's coming out there saying, hey, this is not our priority. Move on. Stop talking about the international trafficking and extortion operation that was going on with the help of Mossad, CIA, MI5, and other intelligence agencies, as Blair White says. So the argument is people should stop talking about children being trafficked because, quote, most people don't care. Guess what? Most people do care. This is going to be with Trump for a long time. We just came back from one of our meetups, and again, everyone is saying, yeah, they're not going to be able to forgive this one or forget it. And this is not going to go away, especially now with Mark Epstein, the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, that came out and is telling everyone that it was Donald Trump that was actually involved in his brother's demise. Now, I wanted to kind of look at this from a fair perspective and to try to dissect this and talk about the possibility of this being true, and then of course talk about the possibility of this being not true. Here is what Mark Epstein had to say here, as he is saying that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino are coordinating this in order to protect Donald Trump from the fallout here. Of course, like you saw in the intro video, everyone thinks it's the Clintons, everyone thinks it's Bill Gates, but guess what? Billy Boy over here isn't alone here with his past relations with Mr. Epstein. As we know, Donald Trump had them too. He talked about them. We played a previous video of Donald Trump 5 years before Epstein got arrested again and met his demise, talking about, oh, this is going to be a big trouble for the Clintons. Well, now, this could partially explain what in the world's going on here. Now, is this the truth? We don't know, but this is what this one man has to say that is his brother.
You got Bondi, you got Patel, you got Barr. All of these people work for Trump, okay? So if they're covering up for somebody, who do you think they might be covering up for?
So you think they're covering up for President Trump?
I think that's clear here. I think it's important to note here that there's a lot of activity here indicative of Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino falling on the sword for Donald Trump here. And Donald Trump reacting and saying, the FBI is doing a great job. Pam Bondi, you don't got to answer any of these questions. It looks like Donald Trump's trying to take some of the onus on him. But from everything that we're seeing here and everything that we're kind of seeing descend the way that it is, I think it's pretty clear here that Kash and Bongino were told, hey, take one for the team. We got bigger projects at hand here. We'll give you praise. We'll give you everything you want. You got to take this one for the team. You got to take this one on the chin. Most likely because, listen, this extortion trafficking ring sure wields a lot of influence and power that now probably being wielded by the President of the United States. So is his first allegation that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino are trying to protect Trump from the fallout and destroying their reputations in all of this? Yeah, absolutely. And then there's a coordinated attack right now that's very interesting from Laura Loomer and Ben Shapiro saying, it's all Pam Bondi. Trump has to get rid of Pam Bondi now. Really? Why? When it looks like she's just taking orders from the top down, and because any competent person would see what she's doing, and if I'm in charge of her, fired right away. Are you kidding me? You said it was on your desk. You're that sloppy. You're a prosecutor. You're Attorney General. You're Attorney General of Florida. You know to be very careful and articulate with your words. You know you're media savvy. You're media trained. You're telling me you were playing loose with the facts here when it comes to the story of the decade that everyone is hyper worried and concerned about since it involves the most powerful people on earth? Are you freaking kidding me? Fired right away. The fact that she's not, the fact that Trump is praising her, the fact that Trump is trying to obfuscate and not get any kind of accountability for her highlights how he most likely told her, along with Pam, along with Bongino, yeah, you guys take this one on the team. You're gonna take it on the chin, and I'll compliment you on Truth Social, and everyone will forget. The normies won't care about it. That will not happen, by the way. It's an extremely wrong calculation. Midterms lost, 100%, and I see some people saying, if you're going to vote for Democrats after this, and I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not that people are going to go vote for Democrats now. That's not what's going to happen here. It's just that people won't vote. The turnout won't be the same. People won't be excited to vote for Donald Trump's control of Congress. They're like, yeah, I just don't care. The lobbyists got everything they wanted. Anyway, before playing the rest of this clip, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. When you scroll down and you go to takecalm.com, you get a really awesome, incredible product, and that of course is takecalm.com. We only have 46 of these products remaining. They are great high quality CBD products, 1,000 milligram full spectrum, and they work wonders for me and they work wonders for everyone that I give them to. They might work for you. I hate doing these type of claims because you never know what anyone's going to be interacting with, but this stuff, some of the highest quality stuff, no fillers, no nonsense. A lot of stuff out there. You don't want to get your CBD from the gas station. That's one place you just don't want to get it from. And it's filled with impurities, filled with a lot of nonsense. This product, made, grown, developed, manufactured, produced here inside of the United States. High quality stuff. Most people resell it for like 120. We do it for 64. You save a bunch of money, and you get a really awesome, incredible product that really does make the biggest difference, especially when I was dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. This stuff really helped me out a lot. If you're looking for a deep meditation hack, if you're looking for a sleep hack, this is something that has helped some people. It might help you. We are changing our shop. Go check it out. Now, let's go back here. Let's continue playing this clip here, because I think it's very important to get into the nitty-gritty details of what Mark Epstein is saying.
Look at all of us. Everybody is looking at little pieces of this and coming up with kind of theories, but people really take the time, because there's a lot of facts, there's a lot of information. People who take the time and really investigate this thoroughly all come to the pretty much conclusion that maybe Trump was behind this.
Maybe Trump was behind this. So it's not an assert. It's not like a declarative statement. But listen, all we're left here is to speculate here. Clearly, when someone is dealing with the loss of a loved one and trauma, they're more emotionally kind of reacting than they are kind of intelligently, which this could be a partial explanation. But listen, his kind of speculation is, I think maybe a little bit more fair. And I'll tell you why in a little bit here. But because clearly he's stating it as speculation. Clearly he's saying maybe. He's not saying it as a fact. He's saying maybe Trump was involved here. And Trump was in charge when Epstein met his demise and when Epstein was arrested, but the DOJ was doing something different then, and I'll tell you why in a little bit.
Wow. Well,
Maybe Jeff was killed to quiet him.
you think President Trump has something to do with Epstein, with your brother being killed?
I wouldn't write that off.
No, he's not saying it, and again, he's being fair here, and I think let's entertain it a little bit. We'll entertain it. He's like, hey, it could be. It could be. And listen, now with Trump's kind of bizarre kind of behavior here and very strange statements and very strange actions by his administration here, listen, hey, not out of the realm of possibility. Is it plausible? I'll tell you what I feel in a little bit.
Because if you look at all of the evidence we have and all of the facts, not opinions, and all of the facts, that wouldn't be something I would dismiss.
I mean, that's an extraordinary thing to say, but there is zero evidence that Donald Trump had anything to do with your brother's death.
Well, somebody did.
Yeah, Pierce Morgan is right. There is zero evidence. It's important to be intellectually honest. But guess what? A lot of people on the left that are disingenuous, dishonest, they're just going to run with this. They're going to be like, he was on the list. I don't think Trump was on the list. And I made previous videos about why not. And again, what we're seeing here is just pure speculation. But the left is still going to be like, yeah, Trump probably took him out. Now, again, is there any evidence of this? Absolutely not. Is there any smoking guns? No. Now, circumstantial evidence does point to Trump being in charge when Epstein was arrested. Now, Trump being the president of the United States when Epstein was arrested, incarcerated, put in jail, and then taken out, highlights a level of authority as this happened under his watch. That right there. Okay. That's a little suspicious there. But here's the evidence that contradicts this that I think is important to look at. But hold on. Before even talking about that, let's delve into this a little bit deeper because I think it's worth pontificating about. I think it's worth thinking about here because let's just say Trump's like, let's just take him out. He's an intel asset. He's extorting people. He has a lot of blackmail. He has a lot of power. We got to take out one of the Clintons' strongest assets. And we saw 5 years ago before Epstein got arrested and met his demise. We saw Trump specifically say Epstein's going to be a big problem for the Clintons, as this could have been an intelligence hit, and this could have been, and I'll tell you why I don't believe this, but this is going along with Mark Epstein's theory. Trump could have been like, let's take out one of his assets. He's extorting our people. Let's take out one of their. Now that's probably not true here because if Epstein was going to implicate anyone, he was going to implicate Bill Clinton. He was going to implicate Bill Gates. He was going to implicate the LinkedIn guy. Okay. Now there's other people involved here inside of Trump's circle, like Peter Thiel, that are implicated here. Even Elon Musk had meetings. All the top Silicon Valley had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, by the way. No one really wants to talk about that either. Now, I don't believe that's true because if Trump would take out Epstein, he would take out a guy that could have dished the dirt on so many powerful people. Epstein's lawyer, who doesn't believe he took himself out, by the way. Epstein's lawyer, now, according to everyone I'm talking to, is saying, yeah, no way Epstein met his end. I was just hanging out with a prison guard, and I'm like, listen, okay, over under, is there a possibility that the FBI is telling the truth here? No. So, this is more of Epstein meeting his demise, more of the Clintons and other powerful Democratic Party brokers cleaning up their kind of loose ends here. That makes more sense because from everything that we're hearing here, from everything that we know here, we had Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer ask Jeffrey Epstein before he met his demise, hey, do you got any dirt on Donald Trump? And then, according to Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer, Jeffrey Epstein said no. According to the cellmate that shared a cell with Jeffrey Epstein before he met his demise, they asked him too. And he came out the cell and he said, hey, the Trump DOJ actually came to me and said, if you're able to provide us any dirt on Donald Trump, we can make your problems go away. We could give you a slap on the wrist. And Jeffrey Epstein said that to his cellmate that later came out and said that to the general public. Now, this is big here because it's Bill Barr, a guy who gave Jeffrey Epstein's, whose father gave Jeffrey Epstein his start, that was a part of the DOJ. The DOJ was trying to get dirt. Trump's DOJ was trying to get dirt on Trump. Okay? So, I don't know why Trump is acting the way he is. It's weird and bizarre, and the only way these theories are entertained is because of the bizarre kind of treatment that he's giving all this, saying, shut up, don't talk about this. There's other things important to talk about. No, there's not. That right now, a flood came. I don't give a damn if a flood came or not. That doesn't really matter here. Now, listen, there are many names of very rich, powerful people still being kept. There's so many things under seal here. I saw Benny Johnson come out, and listen, I like some of the stuff Benny Johnson does, but the cope here of him saying, no, we're not getting the documents because of Ghislaine Maxwell's, she's fighting still in court. She's fighting appeals. She's fighting. And I'm like, yeah, she could do that forever. Does that mean Trump has to lie and embarrass and destroy some of his top figures in his administration and run what actively looks like an insane criminal cover-up? No, he would have just said, hey, there's an ongoing criminal case here that's an appeal. Again, these appeals happen all the freaking time here. I also found what MTG said to be very important here, because she's one of the ones that still is able to actually speak out here. Now, what I think happened here, and I'll give you the kind of long and short of it here. Clearly, this is a multi-agency operation. I think Trump is being power drunk. I think he sees, yeah. I think a lot of people on the Epstein client list came to him, and they said, "We'll do everything. We'll bow down. We'll kiss your feet. We'll do anything and everything. We will be at your beck and call. We will make your second term the best term in American history. We will do everything for you. Just please don't hold us responsible for hurting all those small children. Can you do that? Can you do that for us?" And Trump's like, wow, I get to control these people. And I think that exactly is what happened here. Otherwise, it makes no other sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to say, oh, the other guys deleted it. Now, that's a cope. I'm sorry. Tim Pool, Alex Jones, oh, he's just going to get the dip state. No, you're wrong. Charlie Cook, oh, you got to concentrate on Islam. No. Now, when it comes to this particular case here, when it's unfolding and breaking here, Benny Johnson, oh, it's Ghislaine Maxwell's case. No, you're wrong, dude. I'm sorry. You are wrong. And you trying to sell us this cope isn't doing anyone any favors here. Now, again, Benny Johnson did break a lot of the major big stories and major big interviews that now people are correlating. So shouts out for him for doing that. But with this one particular case, absolutely wrong. Here's what MTG had to say, which I thought was also very important.
Your recommendation is FBI and DOJ need to turn over all the information they have?
My recommendation is this case should not be closed. We have Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison right now, and her little black book was ordered to be sealed under the court. And it has over 2,000 names of rich, powerful people and politicians in that contact list. So it's a hard...
Yeah, why are still so many other documents, so many of the tidbits of information here classified and sealed? Listen, Donald Trump said, we're going to unseal it. We're going to give you all the documents. The documents are on my desk. Oh, you can't see them. Why?
It's just, look, there's nothing wrong with asking these questions. There's nothing wrong with saying, we want to know more about this. And I think that's important. It's important to say, I support President Trump and his administration while continuing to say, we want more answers on this. That's not disloyalty. That's actually thinking for yourself. And
that's kind of crazy that she even has to say this. I feel kind of sorry for her that she even has to say this. Like, she shouldn't say that. She should say, I care about children. We should get justice for these children. That's priority number one. I'm sorry if you disagree with that, but I care about making sure that predators aren't out there walking the street that are extremely powerful, that are still having their way with little kids. They could be your little kids. They could be your daughter. They could be your sister. They could be your child out there that gets kidnapped, that gets taken away, that gets propositioned outside of their middle schools, outside of their kindergartens, right? There could be so many horrible things that could be prevented. I want to make sure I prevent them from happening. And now you have to pledge your loyalty to somebody in order to even ask these questions? I mean, come on.
And it's actually pushing for better accountability, and that's what the American people deserve. And I think it's incredibly important to keep asking those questions. The American people are fed up with what they consider to be being lied to or told a narrative that's...
It's not that we consider we are being lied to every step of the way.
Not true, and that's what this election was about, not only in 2016, but again in 2020 and 2024. The American people demand that the deep state no longer control this country. The American people demand loyalty and truth and transparency, and that is the right thing to continue to search for.
Yep, and then listen, there's meetings happening with Trump right now. happening from these neocons, these people who got Trump to bomb Iran, who are going to him again saying, don't worry, the general public doesn't care. No one will care about this. Everyone will forget. You're the greatest president in the world. You're the greatest human being on the world. Don't worry, you can't do any wrong. And they're gaslighting, and they're lying, and they're not telling the truth here. As of course, most people are now mortified, terrified. And listen, it's pretty clear. Donald Trump didn't take out Jeffrey Epstein. But now, with the weirdness and oddness of this entire situation, we have to question everything. And now the left, and then anyone who really hates Donald Trump, they have all the ammunition they need. And that's a situation that's extremely unfortunate and something that could have been prevented with honesty, transparency, and accountability of some of the worst predators in our society that deserve to be in jail, and they're not in jail. And they're not in jail because of the shots that are being called right now by the President of the United States. And that right there is an outright shame. It's evil. Cope with that evil with some CBD on TakeCalm.com. That's what I do. And I meditate. I haven't meditated in a while. I gotta meditate. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.